All right, y'all. Let's talk about couple titles in ACOTAR because I do think that that matters. So for those who are like unaware, there are like semi-official or like kind of unofficial but supported by the canon titles for the character for like different characters that tend to pair well with their presumed ship partner. Like example, this is Lady Death and the Lord of Bloodshed. Like this is just kind of what they're called when they are called something together, like within the canon. Like no one's calling them Nessie in the canon. They're called Lady Death and the Lord of Bloodshed. And then Phazand, I think, is High Lord of Night and Lady of the Stars, which is lovely. And this brings us to the ship war, where we have Lucian paired with not Elaine, but Vasa, Bird of Flame and Lord of Fire. And then my precious babies who have never done anything wrong ever in their lives are Death and the Lovely Fawn. And I feel like Death and the Lovely Fawn has even more evidence within the canon to support this title because we have that whole sequence about Truth Teller and the painting that Feyre was creating in her mind about Death and the Lovely Fawn, and the Lovely Fawn standing before Death, and light and dark and day and night, and in the middle, that knife. Like, that is not just foreshadowing. That's like a blinking red sign, or like a pink and blue, like specifically for these two, but it's just a blinking sign saying, look at them. They are important. And I don't necessarily love to pin every piece of evidence, especially for the ship war, on Feyre, because I feel like Feyre doesn't have all of the information at any point, and she's kind of unreliable when it comes to relating to other people, relating to each other. Like, she's not super great at that. I'm not saying that she's a bad narrator or a bad protagonist. She has her biases, and her opinion is colored by Rhysand's opinion. So if Rhysand is misinformed, Feyre is misinformed. But I do think when it comes to the paintings, that's where she's got a good eye. It's not necessarily that she knows the dynamic of all of these characters, but she can see the picture of them in her mind's eye. And she's been doing that with Elriel since Akamath. She pairs Asriel and Elaine together when she talks about Nessie, Nessa and Cassian are gonna fight, and then Elaine will stick close to Asriel just for some peace and quiet. Like, this has been going on since before Lucian was even a factor in Elaine's life. And Lucian, for his part, has more of a rapport with Vasa in, like, when they're barely on the page than he does with Elaine. So, like, there really is something to be said for these paired titles meaning something later.